Hi, I'm Carrie, and this is Under Sisterhood. This is a YouTube channel for the single and childless, not by choice person. If you're single and childless, not by choice, and you feel alone and isolated, or like you're the only one in the world, subscribe to this channel for tips, tricks, and resources on how you can live your best life, even if you are single and childless, not by choice. So, our video today are things to do to make your weekend fun if you are in your town, or if you're exploring a new city, things that you can do in order to make a solo trip feel fun too. You know, when you're single and childless, not by choice, it's one of those things where you may or may not have the freedom to be able to go on some trips or do some day trips, or you have some time in your weekend in order to do some things that sound fun. But sometimes, even though you might have that time, kind of figuring out what to do or having the budget to do it, or even feeling the motivation to kind of go out and do something on your own can feel really hard. So here are some tips and tricks that you can do in order to make sure that you have a fun time either exploring your own town or a fun time exploring a new town. So the first thing to do is look up the new restaurants or maybe the best restaurants in your area. And maybe you want to go try one out. Restaurants, particularly if you're in a larger area, they can change over. New restaurants come in, some leave. There might be like something really trendy going on. So I want you to do a little research and find out the best restaurants. If you have a favorite particular food or a certain type of ambiance, maybe you tailor your search specifically to that, right? So maybe you want to try like a rooftop bar or a rooftop restaurant, or maybe you want to try, kind of the new fusion restaurant that's out there. Look it up and remember, it's okay to dine alone. You can either get a table and dine alone, or if that feels like a little bit too much into the deep end right away, remember you can always sit at the bar and order food from the bar as well. There's typically lots of people who, if they're dining alone, that's where they go, particularly if you're in a larger city where there's a lot of business people, things like that. So look up the best restaurants. The next thing I want you to do is look up what are the best activities that people are doing, particularly seasonal, right? So there may be, if it's, Halloween, there may be certain themes that are inspired by that. If it's Christmas, there might be certain themes or things going on that are inspired by that. You can also look at different meetups, right? If you are a dog mom, sometimes there's specific dog mom meetups. If you like a particular activity, you can check those out. Sometimes, like in my area in the wintertime, they have like curling activities on one of the rooftops, which seems always really cool and really fun. A big thing that I see right now is like candle making places or cooking classes, things that are a little bit different that you might actually have to go out and seek in order to hear about them. So every so often, do a search on that. You never know what you'll find. Okay, the next thing is one of my favorite things, and it's look up what are maybe some of the cozy bookstores that are out there. I think we all kind of know like the big box chains, and that can be fun too. But particularly sometimes in bigger cities, or if it's a new city that you might not have a window into, what kind of the best local indie things are. Look it up. You can even put like best cozy independent bookstores. I've done that where I've gone, and there's some really cool ones out there. You can browse for books. You can maybe take a book. Usually there's a coffee shop involved. It's just a nice way to spend an afternoon that can be quiet. And if you're there doing that alone, that's kind of the norm in a situation like that. So if you have a lot of anxiety or worry about doing something alone, this could be kind of a good entry point for you into it. The next thing is look up those best coffee shops. This is a really big thing going around right now, kind of that like cozy vibe in a bar, coffee shop. more independent coffee shops, not like the big chain things. Again, Google best coffee shops, and then maybe you want to go try some cool coffee that you haven't had before. These are also typically in some cool parts of the town too, so you might even want to make an afternoon out of it. Maybe that cozy coffee shop is in the bookstore or near the bookstore or near the restaurant or near a movie theater, and you want to try out this cool coffee shop and then go see a new movie that you haven't seen for a while, or a play or something kind of more independent that's out there. So remember, don't forget the best coffee shop. Sometimes we get really kind of in our lane related to those more chain restaurants or those chain coffee shops. Think outside it. Another thing you could do is think of the best walking paths or hiking trails. Really consider like meetups around for things like this, just because sometimes going on a hike alone or a walk alone can be a little more dicey, kind of depending on where you are. But sometimes there's like nice city parks that might feel a little bit more safe. Maybe you want to take your dog with you, right? Think about what are some of those places that maybe I have to drive 20 to 30 minutes, but it's something a little bit different. It's something that I'm not typically used to, and consider trying something new. Again, if you're kind of have a concern around safety, I think that can be really valid. And there's also a lot of meetups that go out and do that. All right, the next thing that I would encourage you to do is think about what is your favorite thing to do, and then Google if there's any activities around that. If your favorite thing to do is write, or your favorite thing to do is hang out with your dog, if your favorite thing to do is try out new different desserts, if your favorite thing to do is singing or acting or knitting or playing tennis, whatever those things are, kind of Google what events might be occurring in your city or in the city that you're visiting related to those things. So let me know what you do in order to re-explore your own town or explore a new city that you're in if you're traveling and you're doing some solo traveling in particular. So subscribe to Saunders Sisterhood for videos that are geared toward the single and childless, not by choice lifestyle. And remember, you can find us on Instagram or our webpage to find out events that you can join if you're single and childless, not by choice.